I think it is.
Yeah, this is Artie.
What's
Rhetorically
up?
Defective.
What's up, man?
I'm not used to whatever this is. I'm very boomer with what's happening right now.
Well, you're in. I know you don't usually show your face, so you don't have to if you don't want to, but all there is on the screen is just this blue OBS symbol instead.
Yeah, usually I can upload like my avatar, but I don't see an option to do that.
I see. It might be there. It might be there. But that's fine. It's fine. You know what? I'm just going to put my own thing here. You know what? I could probably put your avatar in there. Let's do that.
Put whatever you want there. You can get real fucking weird with it if you want to.
Well, I think that if I put, it would be faster for me to just put whatever I want in there.
Yeah,
actually.
It would be. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit what you call me, what you fucking put up there.
Could you, okay, off the bat, can you try not to curse so much,
bro?
I'm
so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's all good.
I'm genuinely sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. Well, welcome to the show, man. You definitely piqued my curiosity with that comment. Well, let me read again what you said to me. You said, bro, I'm down to chat whenever you want. You're an incredibly weird person, like exceptionally weird. I'm also an atheist doing a harsh keto fast alongside the orthos for Lent. I'm currently beyond starving as I type this. I have a mainly religious audience, but the ortho vibes are the strongest. We're currently converting Protestants to ortho in my community. I don't even know where to begin, bro.
All of that's completely true.
I don't know where to begin, though.
So I'm not even converting atheists to Orthodox. I have Protestants converting to Orthodoxy in my community.
Mm-hmm.
So I build myself as an atheist, liberal, civic nationalist, okay? And somehow I've built a religious audience.
That's interesting.
But I'm using like the left stuff against them.
Yeah.
Like, liberal is free speech and private property. Liberals don't believe in that, right?
Yeah.
So in the same way that they just morph language, I'm just trying to use these words in a different way against them.
That's interesting. But I mean, I don't believe in free speech either. You know, it's weird. It's like when you find yourselves, see, civic nationalism, I'm pretty much against. Yep. Liberalism, I'm pretty much against. And everything you said, atheism. Yeah, definitely against atheism. So how do you garner an audience? Well, I mean, I watched one of your videos after you messaged me, and then I noticed in my history that I've watched another video of yours. I don't remember which one it was, so I was already familiar with you. I found out, but
I'm very critical of the Jays, or as we call them, the Moos.
Okay, we call them. I think we're gonna.
Amish.
We've been calling them Amish, but I think I'm gonna start calling them Tengus.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we watched a Japanese documentary, and they're definitely the Tengus. Like this, it's kind of indisputable that they are the Tengu demons that came down from the mountain in 500 AD and ruined Japan and gave Japan demons.
Definitely demons. They're definitely demons.
Well, so how'd you get there? How'd you get there?
To where?
To recognizing that.
I believe in demons, but I don't believe in God.
This is the weirdest thing, and I've heard it my entire life. Why? Yeah. What is this? Atheists that don't believe in God but do believe in demons. How do you get there, bro?
You see demons before you see God a lot of the time.
Oh, okay. So you feel as though you're on a journey still.
I'm a dog-esque materialist, you know?
Yeah.
So it's what I see, right?
Right.
And I really like listening to Jim Bob debunk evolution. That's been really nice.
Yeah, he's great at that. It's kind of his forte, among other things. We found out he's also the Scorsese of our generation.
How'd you find that out?
On Ortho Thugs today, he mocked me by making an incredible video and just. Oh, also he gave himself gigantic shoulders. It was the worst. It was the worst.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the thumbnail anyway.
Yeah, it was a really bad time. I'll be all right, you know, but it was a lot. It was a lot to deal with.
What happened to you? What did his shoulders do to you?
It's not just the shoulders. It was a whole bunch of stuff. See, he said, "Hey, let's both make like a minute-long silent short, like no words, and we'll put it. We'll play them on Orthothugs next week." And I was like, "Oh, I got this," and I made a little weird thing, and then he's like, "Hey, do you want to see what I made?" Because we thought we weren't going to do a show today, so he sent me what he made, and I watched it, and it was freaking, dude, it was Taxi Driver, bro. It was beautiful, and I was like, "What the heck? This makes me look like an imbecile." This next to what I made, it just mogs me, bro.
Well, you guys are a good team because you're good with the music stuff. He's good with the visual stuff. He's more animation. He's more visual, but and you're the audio. So that offsets each other.
That's true. And we're kind of building more and more stuff together. We're trying to go in a direction where eventually we are making movies. Genuinely, we want to topple Hollywood.
Very ambitious, I would say.
Well, you gotta have something to aim for.
Shoot for the stars and land the moon.
Yeah.
What about like a nice 10-minute short on YouTube? Or are you going straight for the 2.5 hour epic?
Well, we already did that. We have Jamicular Meets Seth. That's a great that's like a little film. And it's using both of our stuff and combined, but we're trying to like, we can go so much further. It's crazy. And the only thing that stops us from doing there's two things that stop us from making the stuff that we're extremely capable of making. One, the fact that we're always streaming. Two, the fact that we don't live near each other.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's the distance between you guys?
I mean, I live in Alaska, so I mean, it's.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Is that why you're so strange?
No.
Oh, okay.
But what? See, I don't think I'm that weird, but everybody says that I am.
You're like uncharacteristically weird. You're like, and I'm like a connoisseur of like very weird people.
Yeah.
I honestly don't even know how to feel about you. You're so weird, dude. I can't put you on a map.
Wow.
That's why I was like, I need to just talk to you. You're very lucid. You're much more lucid than the average person, I would say.
Yeah. Wait, really? I feel like I'm in a constant fog personally.
Well, probably that's the lucid, You don't know what's going to happen next.
Yeah. Yeah. Got to keep your head on a swivel when you don't know what your own mind is going to think at any moment.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, this is going well. So far, I haven't burped out molars. See, I was worried that you would come on and I would burp and a molar would shoot out of my mouth, and that didn't happen.
You don't think there's anything weird about what you just said to me. Like, this is what's that. The fact that you don't identify that as peculiar at all makes it even more weird.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
Like,
I'm just making conversation, buddy.
What did you think you were going to burp out your own molars?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's just, it's a fear. I've never talked to you before, and I want to make a good impression.
Oh, that. See, I never know. I never know what you're going to say.
Yeah, I see. I get it. Well, you're quite the talker yourself, though. I've noticed you. From what I've seen from your show, you're actually, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it, you're actually not that rhetorically defective.
Wow, not to certain people, but in my day-to-day life, I certainly am. Right? Got to find the internet people that understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like I've been like kind of just kind of floating through life until I started a show, and all of a sudden there was people in the world who were like, "Oh yeah, I'm tapping into what you're doing here." Did
you have imposter syndrome at all?
Yes, still. I was talking to Jimmy about it yesterday or Wednesday. No, yesterday, about how like I still don't get why people give me money, and I'm always like, he's like, dude, they give you money because they want you to continue doing what you're doing, but there's still like this disconnect. I still haven't bridged the gap between what I'm doing and why people care. So
there is a Holy Lent section in our Discord, okay? And this is what someone said at 7:45 today, okay?
Okay.
Remember, fellas, good things are good. They are not always secret bad things. Be thankful for good things. Try to limit your suspicions when the Lord blesses you, or at least be open to being blessed. You are not so cast aside as to be undeserving.
This is crazy, dude.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, no, that's real. That's like a big thing, especially in Orthodoxy. From the Protestant world, Protestants are constantly in their heads, suspicious of everything and unable to feel at peace at any moment because they're constantly like, "That's a trick. That's a trick. The Christmas tree's a trick." They freak out about everything. In Orthodoxy, it's like, no, dude. There's good things. God's in control. Yeah, there's bad things because the world's fallen, but God is in control and good things do happen. You know?
Yeah, and I've been an atheist for so long because I've been shown like false versions of Christianity the entire time, you know?
Yeah.
I also didn't know that like religious people could have like offensive senses of humor, which is why I really support you and Jim Bob.
Well, I don't know
like,
that we can either.
Well, no, but like it's not just like Steven Crowder's sense of humor. It's very absurdist. And the left like owns absurdist humor.
Well,
it's like the left, and then there's like Sam Hyde. Right.
Yeah, I could see that. The left certainly thinks that they have like a monopoly on art, but that's just
right.
I highly disagree. I think the left's idea of art is generally nihilism and hedonism, and as far as you can go with that, and it's not that far actually. You can go a lot further when you're aligned with the truth. You can make much more beautiful things. You can say much funnier things. You can do much more interesting things. But the people who owned like the Christian record labels, which I want nothing to do with, and Christian movie studios, which I want nothing to do with, they're often not Christian. They're often Tengus. And
this is what I'm learning.
And this is kind of goes back to what you're saying, that you get taught a false version of what Christianity is. It's just a bunch of crybabies and sappy music and people kind of over emoting and once saved always saved, just like, hey, what's up? I thought the right thought and now I'm good, and there's no struggle, and it's basically a bunch of people deceiving themselves. And so that's why in this country we have this massive push towards atheism, is because what people in America and in most of the modern world think Christianity is a complete clown show. It's a complete clown show worth lampooning, worth making fun of, but it's not the church.
Right. And so here's the weird thing. Orthodox people came to my audience. So I was making content, whatever, bashing the left and then being critical of the moose. I just find it's easier on your channel just to say the moose, you know?
Yeah, I appreciate it.
You know, keep it safe.
Dude, everyone's getting lasered lately, so as much coded language as you can do is appreciated.
Yeah. And so my streaming co-host, I didn't learn he was Orthodox until our third stream together.
Oh, wow.
And then I had like Orthodox people in my audience. And then Made by Jim Bob raids, knowing I'm an atheist, raids me, and he's Orthodox. This has been happening for like months now, where I'm having like Orthodox people gravitate to my channel, and it's odd.
Making you think a bit?
I mean, not really. Here's the thing. I don't read at all, okay?
Yeah.
I don't read. So I don't read the book. I don't read your people's books, okay? I'm never going to read them. I'm not going to listen to an audiobook. But I've intuited, and I've come to very, very similar conclusions in very specific ways as the Ortho Bros.
What's that?
I had to come to these conclusions the hard way.
What conclusions?
I've always been like anti-degeneracy. Dude, like there's a part of me that's always been this way, but I've been around annoying lefty liberals the entire time.
Yeah.
And so, you know,
I push it
tried
down.
like promiscuity and like, you know, degenerate stuff and whatnot. I was always the least like degenerate of my friends. I didn't even get piercings or tattoos, dude. All of my friends had piercings and tattoos.
Same here, bro.
right?
Yeah.
I've always kind of been like that, but surrounded by people that had those things. I was always way weirder than the people with tattoos and piercings. I
Well,
always see
that's
them as
because
different.
it's a lot of compensation. You know, tattoos and piercings. It's just kind of like that's basically like you know, a Rolex for poor people. They're just like, look how much money I spent on this drawing on my
Then
body.
they're poor, and I'm like, I can see $5,000 on you. No wonder why you're poor.
Yeah. You could have got a used car, buddy. Now
Yeah,
you're taking the bus and you're covered in tribal tattoos.
But also just the concept of discernment, and I guess like how do I decide? Um, I don't know how to like vocalize it. It just comes out in like videos that I make, and people are like, "Oh, that's funny." And
Yeah.
I'm, I started off my channel more as a quote unquote anti-communist, okay?
Right.
And what I've learned is that it's still an oppositional identity. If you call yourself an anti-fascist, well, what are you? You're just not fascist.
This is
You're
what
anti-communist. What are you? Yeah.
I saw this on your show today, and I turned to my wife. I was like, this guy's very insightful, actually. You're like, you don't have an identity if all you are is anti something else. I was like, whoa, dude's cooking. That's real as heck.
That's what I intuit a lot of these things. I don't read them.
Yeah.
Come to these conclusions, you know?
Well, I mean, I think it's that exact spark that and I've argued this throughout the week, actually, and last week, that the spark that desires truth and that part of you that is curious and wants to know, you know, why things are or senses these things, and that desire to kind of get to the bottom of things and not be led astray by convenient lies, that does end in orthodoxy. So, you know, by your natural inclination towards truth, you might find that you end up exactly where I am.
Well, I mean, the most important thing. So I can't be a soldier of Christ, but I can work in service of Christ. So
Why?
that's where I'm at right now. I can. What's more important, me believing in Christ or me driving many people toward Christ and orthodoxy? You know, at the end of the day, that's the most important thing.
That's such an odd thing. Dude, that's so weird. You know how weird
Thank
you
you.
called me
Coming
weird.
from you, that means a lot.
What? I don't know how to respond to that. You're like, what's more important, that I become Orthodox or that other people become Orthodox?
Well, yeah. So
it's
so
not.
I know what
It's a false dichotomy. You can have both.
I know, but we're doing the either or right now. You know, when you like talking to one of your friends, would you rather do this or this? Right? The female answer is I would do neither. Okay, I'm looking for the man answer right now. You have to choose one.
So I have to
right?
choose. That's interesting. Okay, wait. I didn't think about it in terms of me. Either I'm Orthodox or I lead a bunch of other people to Orthodoxy, and I'm not. I hate it. I can't do it. I hate hypothetical. I hate hypotheticals. Right? I can't do it. Why? I want to go to heaven.
I don't get it. I don't get the whole heaven thing. We don't have to talk about this. It's Lent after all, okay?
We can talk about it. You don't have to, but you can.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, yeah,
but
so am I.
But I know, but it's a bummer though.
Talking
to an atheist about this is especially so. Okay, the most important thing to me is okay. This is what I was gonna say. So people need a landing pad. They find out that the left is crazy. All right.
Yeah.
Then they also find out that the moos are kind of behind it all.
Yeah.
And so it shatters the framework of your reality. Where do you go? What do you do? And people need a landing pad. All right. So I'm a Christ salesman, so to speak. I'm removing objections. Okay. Someone goes, I can't be right wing. I'm an atheist. Well, I'm an atheist and I'm right wing. So I position as being right wing. I can't. Well, there's all those white nationalists over there. I can't. Well, I'm a civic nationalist and I'm right wing. It's removing objections, because what I found with the anti-communists is they still have a soft spot for Israel, and that's why they're anti-communist. A right winger doesn't have to call themselves an anti-communist. That's just implicit. You don't have to call yourself JQ. The original JQ is orthodoxy, is what I'm learning.
Oh yeah.
They don't have to J-Spurg, because that's just built in to like understanding that this is an oppositional force in the truest sense to truth.
Yeah. Actually, did you ever hear about when they tried to build the third temple under Julian the Apostate? Did you ever hear about that?
My co-host knows all the history stuff. So if you want to tell me,
It's
please
an
go ahead. I don't know
interesting
anything.
anecdote. Okay, so so Christianity was growing in Rome, and the Tengus got together and they said, "Oh wait, hold on one second."
Yeah.
Super chatted $4.99. TH Holy Spirit is taking Ardy the long way.
Cyber Chud said the Holy Spirit is taking Artie the long way.
I hear this all the time.
All right, so here's what happened.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
they say, well, if we build a third temple, then it'll invalidate everything that the Christians stand for, because the temple will be built again. I don't know the logic. I don't know how sound the logic was, because we're basically, we know that the third temple will probably be built and that the Antichrist will sit in it. But Julian the Apostate, who was ruling at the time, was like, that's a good idea, because he hated Christians and he wanted nothing more than to make them go away. So he sanctioned the rebuilding of the temple, and they cut out the foundation and got it all ready. And when they laid the first stone, it exploded in fire and burnt everyone trying to make the temple.
Well,
And
yeah, but that could mean anything, you know?
yeah,
I'm just kidding. I'm being very sarcastic and dry. I say that to my co-host when he's talking about religion all the time. I go, yeah, but that's not necessarily a sign, right?
so it's pretty crazy. So yeah, this is a long-standing thing that, since the time of Christ, they chose their path and we chose ours, and their path was Antichrist. And it says as much in the Bible. It says as much in the canons of the church. It says as much in the writings of the saints. And
right.
Most of what we're dealing with right now is a result of Western allowances for the sake of convenience that have given them incredible power over the West, the entire world at this point.
Well, we believe in redemption and they don't. How is this rectified? What do you do with an enemy that you know does not want to be redeemed?
I'll tell you what Canon 11 of the Orthodox Church says: have nothing to do with them. Do not do business with them. Do not eat with them. Yeah. Or you will be kicked out of the church, actually.
I know, and they don't mind being kicked out of the church, because then they get to run free. It reminds me of the trans stuff, where they like to act. I've been around degeneracy my entire life. I am so unaffected by it. There's nothing they can say or do that would make me look away. It's just funny to me. But with decent people, with decent upbringings, that might actually be offended by these things. They do it so you look away. And when you look away, well, then there's no spotlight on them. And so I feel like they try to be as degenerate as humanly possible so you stop looking at them.
No, they don't do it so you look away. They do it so you participate. They try and normalize it so that you become part of it as well. So, I mean, we've all been surrounded by degeneracy our whole life. Who created the porn industry in America?
An Irish guy, right?
Yeah, the Irish. The filthy Irish. Yeah. So, who runs the music industry that pours all this degenerate music, the film industry that pours all these degenerate films? What it does is it normalizes degeneracy, and it causes you to participate in it. So it's not for you to look away. In fact, looking away is the only thing you can do. And that is the Christian thing to do, to not, when they have the lasciviousness, to avert your eyes, because when you refuse to avert your eyes, you do succumb to it in one way or another. It may not be like you run towards it, but it affects you in other ways. That's
well, I'm at the point where I feel like it would have gotten me if it could get me, because I was like, bro, I don't even want to tell you too many stories, but I was in a polyamorous relationship with a woman that was becoming a socialist in 2015. Okay.
Yeah.
I got stories, man. And if it was going to happen.
What are you, polyamorous?
Huh?
What are you, polyamorous? Sorry, it's a line from my show. Never mind. Go on.
Probably. I mean, yeah, that's something.
Well, but
something
you
certainly
that is you involving. That is you being involved in it. Being polyamorous, having premarital sex. These things are part of it. None of
But
this.
my autism has saved me. Okay.
Well, yeah.
So-
I don't. You call it. Maybe it's your autism. Maybe it's that spark of truth. Maybe it's the image of God in you, which is ringing loudly in you, whether you recognize it or not.
I've always interpreted like postmodernism, like existentialism. I always view these things through an individual lens. So the things that I take in, I have a tendency of not taking them in like other people are taking them in the collective, right? So, like for example, with polyamory, I was like, "Oh, awesome!" Just think of how autistic this is. If she's mad at me, right? Get away from me. Go do something else. Leave me alone. That was my mindset.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's utilitarian,
Straight
pragmatic.
yes, exactly. Straight white vanilla guy in the polyamorous BDSM community. Okay.
Yeah, dude, you can't say that and then say you weren't affected by the degeneracy of our modern culture.
I wasn't. I always thought BDSM was gross and weird, even when it was normal around me. Yeah, I never like did butt stuff or anything. I never like I was
Please.
surrounded by this stuff. I never did. I didn't do it.
Good.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. The devil's made me many offers. That's what I'm saying to you. Okay.
The devil's made.
And I made it out.
Well, that's good, man.
And partake.
This is a really weird thing, this idea of believing in evil, believing in the devil, often believing in hell, but not believing in God. And I've met so many atheists like this in my entire life that it's like, well, clearly there's something going on here. It's more like it's I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. This is something I'm going to actually think about.
When you look around you, do you see more of the devil or more of God?
When I look around, I see more God, but that's because I participate in the life of the church.
Right. Now you did release a video that I commented on, the first video I commented on, where you seem pretty bummed out and like things are pretty catastrophic, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right. Now it seemed like in that moment in time, kind of surrounded by darkness.
Oh,
right?
yeah, it overwhelms me, bro. It overwhelms me. But that's what, it is a fallen world. And
Yes.
man is set to do all manner of evil, because that's actually a verse from the Bible. Because the judgment is delayed, man has set to do all manner of evil in his heart. It's kind of like the idea in what's it? The field. Christ says that you have to allow all of the. I'm paraphrasing here, but you have to allow all the plants in the field to grow so you can separate the wheat from the tares. If you just cut them down when they're saplings, you end up killing the good with the bad, essentially. So you have to allow for this entire thing to unfold, and then the judgment.
Right. But in terms of seeing, like when I look around the world, right, I see mainly suffering. I wouldn't want to live in Africa. I wouldn't want to live in the Middle East. I would only want to really live in a very small portion of the world. It seems like the majority of the world in materially is demons. And it seems like there's powerful elites that are in charge that are demons. It seems like the demons are really at the helm, so they're easier to see. I'm trying to explain this
No, it makes sense.
sentiment to you, right?
It makes sense for sure.
And I see demons and I've seen demons, but I've never seen God.
Well, you've seen evil.
Yeah, and when I say demon, it's the worst humanity has to offer.
Yes, but have you not seen good?
Yeah, it's temporary.
So
Not as long lasting as the evil,
Actually, it lasts eternally, and the evil will end.
Really taking its time, and the evil is really working its way It's like a 16-year-old dog that like ate grass, and that thing's just slowly working. That evil's slowly working through, man.
Yeah.
They come out. It's gonna be ugly when it's out, but it's really taking its course, man.
Well, I mean, think about it like this. After Adam ate the fruit, think about it like this. That was this small thing, this small, seemingly small thing of someone making the error of going against God's will and seeking after his own will. And from that small thing, what was the next thing that happened? Cain killed his brother. So it was exponential, the spread of evil, once we fell away from God. There can't really be goodness without God, because God is not only the source of life, but he's the source of goodness. So what we're doing is we're careening into an infinite void, fascinated with our own ideas, fascinated with our own machinations, and basically treating this short life as if it is the end all be all, and not recognizing that eternal life is waiting for us if we just turn around.
Yeah, but there's a lot of kid diddling with elites, man. See, hey, my brain, without God, the brain just goes to the terrible things that are happening, which for making content and criticizing people is fantastic. But I guess I'm just used to feeling this way. And honestly, really a roadblock for me personally, and I'm weird, is that I feel like I don't want to have to second guess myself if I had to do something vile to vile people. Okay. With a lot of Christianity that I've seen tends to hold them back.
Well, that's again, that's the distortion.
This.
That's the distortion of Christianity that came with Protestantism. But we fight for our own. We lay down our lives for our brothers. And, you know, part of what's happening right now is we are amassing we're working our way towards a tipping point where orthodoxy takes over the nation, and then these things will be taken care of. There's no part. There's
$5. This show is fire emoji.
Thank you to Cheap Chimp. Pacifism, you know, loving your brother and stuff. There's limits to that, because if you allow evil to happen before you, then that is a sort of sin by omission. You have to actually combat evil when you see it. You can't just allow it to unfold. And so the idea of this hyper pacifism that a lot of the Protestant types push, it is a type of evil. It's tolerating evil. It's allowing evil to flourish.
Yeah.
Yeah. But false false is relative without Christ. True and false, good and bad, all of that is relative without Christ. It's just kind of this sort of thing that you have in your head. It's really just kind of preference.
Well, I guess I say false. Oh, and trust me, I'm familiar with the atheist receiving my preferences argument. Honestly, dude, it would be an honor to have Made by Jim Bob absolutely berate me.
Well, he could do it. I can't. Whoa, my screen froze. Hold on.
Yeah, not a problem.
Why'd my screen freeze? Hold up.
That's what I do.
Hello?
Hello, I can hear you.
Maria, am I still streaming? All right, give me one second. Give me 1 second. Sorry, bud.
Yeah.
No, you go. You could go on. I'll just fix this while I wait.
Oh, I have very thick skin, and I think it would just be really funny for him to ask me, you know, the logical debate bro questions.
Yeah.
And I just try to answer them. But I want him to berate me, though. I think that'll be funny.
Well, I mean, he usually, I guess it depends on how late it is, but he might surprise you and be incredibly courteous. So I hate to disappoint.
I know, but I think, because like usually when when he's talking to an atheist, it's someone that's like proud of being an atheist, right? There's plenty of people in my community that want to be believers. There's people that used to be believers that are not anymore. And I get these comments all the time. And I think they feel comfortable talking to me because I'm not steering them in any sort of direction, right?
Yeah.
Here's the issue. I call it Christ coin, okay? Are you into crypto at all?
No.
Are you familiar with crypto at all?
Yeah.
Have people tried to get you into crypto?
Not directly. No. Jay Dyer
Okay.
talks about it a lot, but nobody's spoken to me directly
Right.
about it.
So I've had people be like, all right, dude, you got to get into Bitcoin. And I'm like, all right. So I go to like set up a Coinbase account and they're like, no. That's just a custodian account. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is set up a MetaMask wallet. I'm like, well, this seemed easy in the beginning.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know this is what happens with Christianity a lot of the times where it's like, do this, and you hear a lot of different things from different people.
Yeah, yeah.
And so
yeah, and it sounds easy at first when it's just like say I believe in Jesus, and then you did it.
Right, you did a Jesus. Like,
You
oh
did
yeah, there we go. Now I'm in, right?
Yep.
And there's all these fake Christians out there, and then oh no, what you gotta do is be Baptist and go and do this. So it can be very confusing for somebody that wants to believe.
Well, yeah, it's confusing because of the fractures and the schisms that have happened, but the church has remained throughout it. It's really more of a Western problem in a lot of ways. You know, the West broke off, started doing power grabs, became immersed in usury, delegitimized the Western Church. The Roman Catholic Church delegitimized itself through its power grabs, through its contradictions, and through laying burdens on its adherents, which led to all these new churches like Lutheran and Calvin and Baptist and all these things. And it was just this constant fragmentation, which is kind of the only thing that could happen once you stray away from the source of life, is you just kind of crumble. So, but throughout all that, the Orthodox Church has remained, and it has stood the test of time against all of these things. So a lot of what you're dealing with is these parodies of what the church actually is, making up new doctrine, but just on a whim. You know, I mean, you literally have lesbian priests of what are they called? Not Episcopalian churches, promoting that,
or Unitarian, I hear, is particularly goofy.
Yeah, but Unitarian, yeah, they're freaking, they're insane. Jimmy's dealt with them. I can't even begin. He's a lot better with arguing. I don't have it. It's just not in me. I just get mad and I want to hurt. I just want to smash. I was watching Tim Pool talk to Andrew Wilson today, and it was just like, oh my gosh, the rage was surging through me. I was like, I'm so tired.
I like Tim Pool, though. Tim Pool's helped out the right wing a lot, though.
No, Tim Pool is a scoundrel and a vampire and a weirdo, and he's
what?
Yeah, dude.
He's helped the right dude. He's platformed the dissident right way more than like anyone his size.
Yeah, as far as like height.
Yeah, on little platforms.
yeah.
Actually, I need you to help me rectify something, okay?
Okay.
So are you familiar with Return to the Land or Eric Arval?
I've heard the name, but no.
Very pro-white people, whites only.
Okay.
They got bought up.
Oh, yeah, that guy. Yeah.
So we interviewed him on stream.
Nice.
And so he validates Jesus Christ, but he also validates pagans in his whites only community because it is technically European.
Yeah.
He seems to be race first. That we have two camps on the right now. Race first, God second, God first, race second. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm trying to figure out how to position this where an issue that pagans have with Christianity is, well, it's too universalist. And that's kind of how we got into this mess, where it doesn't specifically highlight white people and elevate them. And that's like the criticism of it. So how do you integrate being pro the white race with orthodoxy when it doesn't explicitly say that in there?
I mean, my racial advocacy is always second to my faith in Christ and in the Orthodox Church, and there's nothing stopping anyone, regardless of race, from joining the church and being saved. So the idea of that is just,
well, we need the white race to survive.
I mean, look, I'm a white nationalist. I'm a white advocate, but the idea that we need the white race to survive, I don't know. The metric makes no sense to me. We need Christ
Do you
to
think
survive.
we have right? But Christ seems to be really nice to white people.
No, white people
compared to
white people adopted Christ in mass, but there have been, many
Same in
Christians
Africa,
of
right?
all races. Yeah, I mean, we have black saints. We have Saint Moses the Black, and obviously things happen. But this is something I was talking about this week. Was that all these Muslim countries that are like so effed up and full of 1,000 years of inbreeding and child molestation. Those started off as Christian countries. And it's the same ethnic group. It's the same people. They got conquered, forced into conversion, and so like all these people that we're seeing as like somehow different in that way, they're the result of millennium of thinking wrong. In Byzantium, which was a Christian kingdom and the strongest kingdom in the history of the world and one of the longest lasting kingdoms, there was all sorts of ethnic enclaves. They were unified in the liturgy. So my white advocacy comes from my desire. It comes from a response to white people being specifically attacked, specifically targeted, and specifically, specifically targeted. So, but the interesting thing I've found in researching this, hold on 1 second, I got in a super chat.
You actually want it on Nate Seeking. Liturgy is the answer, and God bless you.
Josiah said, you are not an atheist. You actually want it and are seeking. Liturgy is the answer, and God bless you.
I get this all the time. I appreciate it.
And someone else said, Ortho Recognizer said, can you let him know he is right on the verge? He should go to liturgy. His awareness is next level. His awareness is next level, and he is searching.
You want to hear something incredibly frustrating very quickly? There's a Greek Orthodox church 15 minutes away from me.
I mean, it doesn't, look, it's going to happen in its own time. I'll tell you what, I resisted orthodoxy for a long time. Things happen in ways that we can't possibly predict. But what I will say is this. What I found out recently is part of the hyper-nationalism and ethnocentrism of the Western world that, turned into all these nation states with their own churches and racial identities with hard lines and reasons to kill each other. Part of this came from the crumbling of the unity of Byzantium through the Catholic Church. Whereas before, there were ethnic enclaves, but they weren't threatened. Everyone could be who they were. They could have their culture. They could have their race. They could have their ethnic identity, but they all were unified in the Orthodox worldview. They all had the same liturgy. They all believed in the same premises. And so it was once that got destroyed that people began to feel threatened, and then they made race their idol. Now, my race is extremely important to me, but it's not an idol. I don't put it above Christ.
Right, and that's I have an issue calling myself a white nationalist because a lot of them are very misguided and cringe from what I see. Like Nick Fuentes, I don't even think it's necessarily a white nationalist. So I say a civic nationalist that supports, first of all, it's more palatable and it's more achievable. If you say white nationalist, people are like, okay, so just white people. And it's like, well, no, I'm a pro-white advocate, but I say civic nationalist because I mean, it's not going to be. It's going to be a white minority country. It's not a palatable, I don't know, position for me to put forward to say a white nationalist, especially when what white nationalists do I get along with, like or even like talk to and whatnot. It seems to be a very catty online sphere for white nationalists. They don't seem to be very unified. So I have difficulty subscribing to that term.
Well, personally. Yeah. That kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier about that guy who he's talking about, paganism and Christians unite, and all they're really doing is sowing the seeds for a destruction that's already happened. They're not, the devil doesn't even have to try to ruin it again because they're not doing anything that hasn't been destroyed over and over again. It's the only thing that protects us from the darkness is Christ, because Christ is the light. So when we start participating in these other things and making them more important than Christ, it doesn't matter how important we think it is. It will be our destruction.
It's 1 degree off course, right?
Well, yeah, 1 degree over 1,000 years.
Well, exactly, like that right. So, you know, even if you're trying to do good in your mind, so
But also
materially, yeah,
it's an infinite chasm between it's not just 1 degree, because there's an infinite chasm between aligning with the truth and aligning with something that's true.
right. Aligning with something that's true is finite, and the truth is infinite.
Exactly.
Right. That I definitely agree with. But that's the thing is I've always been able to feel the truth. So the best way I can explain it, I always have to have my atheist way of explaining these things. So when it comes to the truth, I'm like a 5-year-old that sees a fat lady at the grocery store, and I say, "That lady's fat." My mom goes, "You're not supposed to say that." And I go, "Well, yeah, but she's fat." My mom goes, "Well, yeah, but that's rude." And I go, "I know, but she's fat." Like
Yeah.
I can't turn it off, right?
Yeah.
And so that'll happen with and just being around people on the left, and just I've taken a peek behind the curtain with people on the left, and like in small positions of power, and work with them a little bit, and I wanted nothing to do with it, but I know that these people are like behind closed doors. So I like to comment on things that I don't think other people see, that I intuitively know because I've been around them for so long.
Well, yeah, like I said, you definitely have an inclination towards truth, and that's why you're garnered an audience, and it's I'll say this, kind of relating to what you said. They say there's a saying that if you want to offend a wise man, tell him a lie. If you want to offend a fool, tell him the truth. So these people are these people are allergic to the truth. It's and the thing that you start to understand once you become orthodoxy is that the truth is not just this relative concept. The truth is a person, and that's what Christ himself claims, that he's the way, the truth, and the life. And so all of that is the epistemic grounding for everything else, is the revelation of God and what he's said to us, and all kind of comes through that. And so when you align with him, when you seek the truth, if you seek earnestly, you're going to end up orthodox.
It's really uncomfortable. The submission is what's difficult for me. The submitting to Christ.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the basis of the whole thing at the end of the day.
Yeah.
The basis of the whole thing is my will versus his will. And we are disobedient and rebellious to our core. That's really what we are. And we genuinely think that our will make us happy, but it never does. And the more you live, the more you realize that. Hold on 1 second.
About to be baptized in the Orthodox Church, along with my husband and 4 children, on Lazarus Saturday. Orthodox cross emoji. Come and see. Orthodox cross emoji.
Did you hear that?
It was pretty low. I didn't hear the whole thing.
Jessica Bowman said, lifelong atheist/agnostic, about to be baptized in the Orthodox Church, along with my husband and 4 children on Lazarus Saturday. Come and see.
Bro, I just had a super chat tonight where someone said they went to liturgy for the first time. This had like people in my own audience tell me that they went to liturgy.
Yeah, man. Glory to God. Glory to God.
And liturgy, that's the thing that switches the Catholics and the Protestants. The liturgy. Now, I don't know anything about religion, okay? I just go based. I'm very vibes based. Okay?
Yeah.
I don't read. I'm not literary. I'm not intelligent. This is why, like, if I went to debate Jim Bob on something, I'm not studious at all whatsoever. I very much intuit things. I very much go by vibes. And just 100% of the time, liturgy is brought up, and that's the game changer. What's so different about liturgy compared to other denominations?
I mean, the difference is it's where the grace of God is. That these other things, these other denominations,
it's not gimmicky, is what I hear. I hear like other like denominations are like gimmicky or something like it's more kind
Yeah,
of song and dancey and like doesn't feel right, I guess is what they say.
sure. Yeah, I mean, you could talk about the sort of um appearances, but that's really not the difference. I mean, there are all sorts of visible differences, but the difference really is that the things that modern people call church are not the church, and Orthodox is. It's really that simple, and that's why people kind of rage against Orthodoxy. That's why you see people like Tim Pool lose his mind at the thought of Orthodoxy. Everybody does, because Orthodoxy, the proposition that Orthodoxy forces you to deal with is that if Orthodoxy is true, then what you're doing is false. And the exclusivity of that claim, it rubs people the wrong way. But that's what people experience in liturgy. People go to the liturgy and they experience something. It's not about just, the icons or the beauty of the singing. What they experience is the grace of God upon the church that Christ built.
Yeah, my streaming co-host says it's solemn. Like it's serious, it's solemn. It's not giggly. It's not laughing. It's very solemn is how he describes it.
It can be. It can be. I wouldn't necessarily describe it as that. I've always,
Okay.
my personal experience has been it's the most. It's it's like a small vision of Eden. That was my first encounter with Orthodoxy when I first went to an Orthodox church. It
Were
was
you religious at all beforehand?
I was searching. I
Okay.
had a religious experience when I was 27 that made me know that Jesus was Lord. But I spent a long time trying to understand what that meant. And
How old are you now?
I'm 42.
I just turned 40 today.
Oh wow.
Today's my birthday.
Happy birthday.
So I just want to put in perspective. I'm just trying to think of like in perspective of like how long ago 27 was, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's neither here nor there though. Everybody has their own paths. But I was simply saying that, like, when I had the revelation that Jesus was Lord, that 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 was profound and it changed me. But I was surrounded by the same thing you're describing, which is a bunch of people claiming to represent Christ. And the more you
Mhm.
look into them, the more the more you doubt it. And so I was kind of at my wit's end and didn't know where to go, didn't know where to turn. And when I went to an Orthodox church for the first time, it was profound. I'll say that.
This
It
is
was
what I
profound.
keep hearing.
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's why people say come and see. That's why at the end of the day, Jimmy doesn't just sit there with polemics. He says, just go. Because people will wait on the sidelines, and I've dealt with people like this who will stand on the sidelines and they'll talk their crap and they'll say this, that, and the other thing. And it's like, okay, but just go, just look. If you're so sure it's not true, then just walk in and then tell me and then get back to me. And
I know.
so many
Yeah.
people are so reluctant to just walk in. Like, it's like there's some part of them that is afraid it is true.
Well, no, I mean, it's not even necessarily that. It's that right now everything is going so well where I almost don't want to even do anything differently right now. I've said this in my community, and they hate this when I say this in my community, where I'm like, if only like I could have like a near death experience, have something really bad happen to me. I feel like that's like when people like really find God. Who the hell finds God when they win the lottery, right? And I essentially won the lottery on my channel in the past like 6 months. When everything's going really well, how often people add God on top of it? So
That's
right now,
yeah. I mean, you have a really good point. Is the things of the world can entice us to the grave, and we can spend our lives thinking that they matter. But then when we die, it turns out they were of no importance whatsoever. You don't get to take them with you, and they all turn to dust eventually. So the whether it's good or bad, whether what's going on in your life is good or bad, the the simple act of visiting an Orthodox church, the fact that you would even think that would be so catastrophic to everything that you have.
I know,
That
but
in
I'm a
itself
very
says a lot.
in order for me to be where I am, and my cup runneth over, dude, okay? And for me to be where I am, there's a level of cantankerous resilience I have that's in me. I don't want to bring that into the church, okay? I
Well,
know my brain.
you don't have to go into
Okay.
the church and just start swinging, bro. Nobody's
No,
gonna
not
confront you with
swinging.
anything. You're just
No.
gonna. That's the thing. I talked to actually Jessica Bowman, the person who super chatted that about
Yeah.
lifelong atheists. I talked to her husband, and he had all these things in his head, like he thought something crazy was gonna happen. He thought this is gonna happen, and you can. And he was so in his head. He was like, "There's a part of me that's curious, but." There's, what if I get weird looks, or it was kind of like this series of what ifs that he couldn't even really articulate.
Yeah.
And it was like, I never understood that. It's like, it's, you're not walking into like a UFC fight. You're walking into a church. It's nothing. What will most likely happen, what will happen is you'll go in, and maybe you'll get some polite nods, but most likely you won't even be noticed. And you can, maybe at the end, if you stick around at the end, the priest will probably come up to you. People might greet you.
Yeah, I heard the priest comes up to new people.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
yeah. But also, there's nothing. You're not going to be stared at and anything like that. You're just going. I don't know. I really don't understand what the things that happen in people's minds. But it's like it's going into a building in its barest description. You're walking into a building. That's really all that's going to happen. But obviously, there's so much more to it than that.
Right. I mean, but I know, and I'm what's distressing, and here's what I can do for people. It's very distressing to realize we've been lied to for over a century, okay? It's very distressing.
Yeah.
And so what I try and do is provide a landing pad, help people laugh, help them think, and help them be at peace. That's the most important thing for me, is to help people be at peace, because we're talking about things on stream and in my videos that we have no control over and that are very frustrating. Right?
Yeah.
But we can't ignore them at the same time. I mean, have you tried ignoring this stuff and just go, I'm just going to go watch a movie and ignore it? Like, I've tried doing that. It's very difficult.
Well, it's in the movies.
Because I know, but media is also like at an all-time low.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like I had to create content, because for like the last 15 years, it's been difficult to listen to like music and watch movies when I used to enjoy doing those things.
Yeah.
It got to a point where it's difficult to enjoy anything.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I
Right?
for a long time, I occasionally I'll find something, but usually I just end up watching my friends' streams and stuff like that, because everything they're selling, they're just, I mean, it's so obvious at this point. They're like, "Hey, what's up? We work for Satan." Like it's just, I mean, they're not really even trying anymore. They've gotten dumber about it. And honestly, that's the funny thing about, like, they've ramped up the degeneracy to such an extreme that it's become cartoonish, and people are just waking up just by looking at it.
Not even just the degeneracy, but like, it's boring. When you watch a movie from like 1998 compared to a movie from like 2022,
Yeah, dude.
there's no soul in the movie.
Yeah, bro.
There's the way it's edited, the way there's no the character motivations in an awful B movie from the 80s are better than like a movie that I expect to take seriously nowadays, dude. It's been driving me crazy for so long now.
That's true. We had the experience recently. I forget what movie we watched, but it was from the 90s, and it was just like, I was like, I had the feeling like I was watching the best movie ever. And it was just like a kind of like, I don't know, it was like a 7 out of 10 from the 90s. And I was like, this is a revelation. This is glorious. And it's just like a regular movie from the 90s.
Yeah, I almost exclusively watch, I can't listen to music anymore. I can watch older movies,
Yeah.
and stuff and older TV shows. I've essentially watched everything I've ever watched for when I was a kid. But what really started to let me down was music.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
like 20 years ago.
Yeah,
Slowly over
yeah.
time.
That's part of the reason I just made my own. Is because there was
I
just
know.
nothing else to listen to. But hey, I do got it. And speaking of which, I actually do have to get back to my music. But before I
Yeah.
do that, Sweater sent a quote from Saint Dorotheos of Gaza for Artie in the Orthodoxy channel. Can you read that real quick before we go? I'm just curious.
Wait a minute. Where am I reading this? In the Orthodoxy channel. Where
Oh, that's in mine. Oh, he means in mine. Okay, never mind. I thought it was in your Discord. Hold on, my bad. Okay. He sent me something to read to you.
Okay.
Imagine that the world is a circle, that God is the center, and that the radii are radius? No, RDII. I'm not sure, but I get the idea.
Oh, radii?
Radii,
Radiuses?
okay, are the different ways human beings live. When those who wish to come closer to God walk towards the center of the circle, they come closer to one another at the same time as to God. The closer they come to God, the closer they come to one another. And the closer they come to one another, the closer they come to God. Wow. And then Princess Majinoshi Noki said, good quote for Artie in response to saying, I'm just going to bring people to God, but not go to him myself sentiment.
That's gotta be annoying to hear. That's gotta be annoying to hear.
But dude, honestly, I love talking to you, man. This was a lot of fun, and feel free to jump on anytime, man. This was a lot of fun.
Word, dog. Do your thing, baby.
All right, have a good evening.
You too, man.
Show's over.